Welcome to the On the Slab Horror Show once again, ladies and gentlemen, with me, your host, Ian the Dynamo Kelly, joined as always by my right-hand man and my left-hand man, Carl King Woe, and of course the G-man, Greg Flanagan. And you will see our beautiful guest that is joining us today is the Screams. She is a Scream queen, literally. She is also a podcaster, a writer, a makeup artist, and everything in between. Her name is Allie Chappell. So, Allie, welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
We are really excited to have you, Allie. And but what we are going to do first and foremost is we're going to take care of a little bit of business, because today's show, as always, is brought to you by Fright Rags, the top of the line horror merch website that you will find anywhere. And as you can see, we're all wearing our Fright Rags merch right now. I've got the thing. I think Carl's got a zombie going on.
Get my Fright Rags stuff just to be a part of this.
Yeah, you can be a part of it. That's no problem. So while Ali gets her Fright Rag stuff, gets the Fright Rag stuff. But the most important part of the Fright Rags. Oh, what have you got?
It's my April Fool's Day hoodie.
Nice.
Oh, that is nice.
Love it.
That is
Love
nice. Well, listen, the guys at Fright Rags are going to love that. And you know what else they're going to love? They're going to love you to know that they are promoting some amazing, amazing stuff at the moment. Greg, you've been talking to the powers that be today, and they want to promote something in particular at the moment. Some sort of escape from somewhere, right?
It's definitely not from LA.
Hey,
no.
Yeah.
We're going back to the reprinting the new 2022 line of Escape from New York. And I already have one of the t-shirts, but I think I might have to buy the other two because they are fantastic.
They're
out this week, I think.
They're out on Wednesday, I think.
Great.
Yep. But wait, you see the one with the snake on it, with the cobra head.
Unbelievable. Yeah. Also, if that's, I mean, look, you could pretty much buy a shirt in any line that they have. As you can see, I'm wearing the thing. Everybody knows John Carpenter is my guy. So, if you really want to look at some of the great stuff, if you are a John Carpenter guy, you'll see I've been basically promoting this on my other show, Dynamo's Dozen, non-stop. Look at their 40th anniversary edition of their t-shirts and long sleeves for the thing. Unbelievable.
Point class as well.
Unbelievable. But the main thing is that you can actually get 10% off with ourselves. That's right, we're giving you fucking freebies here, ladies and gentlemen. If you type in the promo code OTS Horror 10 when you go to make your purchase, you will get 10% off. So think about it. If you're actually buying in bulk and you're ordering from Europe, for example, you're literally getting your customs fee paid, pretty much. You know what I mean?
Hopefully.
So you're buying it almost at face value if you're buying in bulk. So do go and check them out. You can go onto the website. It's fright-rags.com, or you can go and check them out on Instagram, and they have a shop on Instagram as well, so you can just literally go and shop from Instagram as well if you're not interested in being old school like us, where you got to put the www.frightrags-rags.com. So you see what I did there? I've laid it out for all you laymen down as well, so that's pretty cool. So yeah, do go and check them out. Fright Rags, amazing company, the best merchandise you're likely to get anywhere at a really good price. And not only is it a really good price, you're going to get 10% off by using the promo code OTS Horror 10 from.
It's all officially licensed as well.
100% from your boys. So go and treat yourselves coming up into the summer season, and look like a weirdo wearing all your black stuff while it's summer season.
This guy.
But now it is time to get to our guest of honor today. Allie Chappell has taken some time out. She's having a nice gin and fruit drink there, so she's a Canadian girl but knows how to drink. Canadian women know how to drink anyway, Allie, right?
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah,
and also after the pandemic, I feel like we all learned how to drink pretty heavily.
Well, that's true.
Well, if you don't drink by the time you're 14 over here, you're out of the game.
Exactly. You gotta start them young and keep them going.
Even the Americans have learned how to drink now.
Yeah, theirs is all watered down.
I just thought when the pandemic started, we were like, well, now we have all this time. Why not get day drunk every day? And then before you know it, you're going through like a 2-6 a day, and you're like, oh, we haven't. Like
going through a what?
Now.
I found a wrinkle in my forehead. So, Ali, we are here to talk about you and your projects and whatnot, and obviously let our guests know all about you and what you do. So, we said I probably didn't even cover everything in the intro. I said Scream Queen, which is quite a big term, especially in the world of horror, but also podcaster, artist, and I said everything in between because it literally is everything in between. So tell us a little bit about yourself and what makes you such a crazy horror fan and now actor.
Oh my God. Well, horror fan. I mean, I've been watching horror films since like I was a wee little babe, and like I remember going to the video store and like seeing all the VHS tapes and all the like awesome box art and judging what we would rent based on just cover art alone. And like the ones that always stick out to me are like the Dead Alive poster with like the opening of the mouth. Brilliant. And and the April Fool's Day one with the braid that's a noose. And I always thought, like, one day my hair is going to be long enough and I'll be able to do it. And it's like,
I don't think that's advisable.
Yeah, no, also, like, get extensions and, like, do it yourself. Like, my hair has never been longer than this. And then acting's always been just a huge part of my life from, like, childhood on. It was, like, how I kind of got my outlet into the arts. And then through there, who I was and what I wanted to do, and it kind of came together that working in horror became like my main thing. It's not my only thing, and like if anyone's watching, I'm like always down to do like a rom-com, but horror kind of was where I got my big breaks and my starts and everything, and I've been working consistently for a bunch of years now. And then during the pandemic, because we had all this time on our hands and all the sets were closed, I was like, you know what I would really like to get into that I feel like I could probably start during the pandemic was getting into like special effects makeup artistry, because I've always found that world to be super fascinating. And one of my buddies, who at the time was like kind of like better than an acquaintance but not a full friend, but he lived near me, and I was like, I'm gonna hit that dude up and he's gonna take me on as an intern. So I like baked him like a loaf of banana bread and like walked over to his place, and I was like, hey, so here's like some food, like what's up, you want to hang out and like maybe I intern for you and you just teach me a bunch of stuff, and like I work for free but you also get free help, like it'd be super cool if you just taught me. And it ended up working out super great. It's with Coupe FX in Hamilton of Ontario. If you're anyone on here is from Ontario and needs special effects, Coupe FX, Hamilton, super amazing.
Cool.
And he was super down to just take time out of his schedule to teach me and help me with everything. And now I've learned to like even just do easy out of kit stuff, so that when I make my own things, I don't have to like bring on a special effects designer, and I can kind of do my own like Tom Savini thing, or I can kind of do my own acting as well as, you know, doing some special effects stuff. And it was a fun hobby to have during the pandemic, truly.
And is there anything that you like doing in particular, Ali? Any kind of makeup or effects?
You know what? I'll bring him in. Give me like
That was a good question. That was a good question, Carl, to be fair, because I was going to say, like, is there a particular like genre? Is there a particular, like genre of makeup or special effects?
So this is my roommate.
Lovely.
He's like a full-size, like dead, burned body that I made during the pandemic, and he lives with me full time.
Did you acquire that somehow from like an Ed Gein auction?
No, he's a Walmart skeleton that I spent forever like creating this like flesh stuff on him and then painting. He needs to get repainted soon. He's chipping.
Oh no, this isn't. I'm not taking a piss when I say that. I love that. I was like, but were you influenced by having an Ed Gein type roommate? It was like, yes.
Oh my god, I wish I should just set a bunch of these and do like a whole wall of them.
Nipple
Especially if
belts
you like keep that
galore.
from here, you can just have like the weird hanging like internal stuff.
Yeah.
It
You've got
actually-
the dude. You've got the dude without the bad side of him. You get me?
It reminds me of. Did you ever see Necromantic?
Yes.
Now I don't know if that goes on in that apartment. I don't know. I don't care. But like I'm just saying, reminds me of it.
Oh, he's done so many photo shoots where I'm like, okay, this one we're gonna be like in bed, we're gonna pretend like we're naked. And I'm like, oh my god, what did I just do?
That's awesome. That's awesome.
It looks great. Fair play. Yeah, it looks deadly.
Yeah,
You've got a
speak-
great. Greg, go ahead.
Go ahead, Ian.
No, go ahead.
I was saying, speaking of special effects, we actually had special effects master craftsman on a while back in Nick Benson.
Yep.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
He's got some stories.
Yeah.
They all do. They always have such good stories, and a lot of them are like, I shouldn't tell this publicly, but like,
Yeah, well, that you're talking about some of the biggest movies of the 80s. He was working on the 80s and the 90s.
oh my god, yeah. There are so many like just wickedly talented makeup artists, like even in like the smaller realms, like Kyle Glencross and like Greg Nicotero is huge. I shouldn't say him, but like even like Billy Butler, who's still doing stuff for Full Moon, is just like pumping out so much good shit, and he does it on a budget.
Well, the game has really been up in the last decade. I think it really has, you know, and I think people are trying to incorporate more, you know, practical effects back into their things, which is great.
I agree, because like CGI it's fine, but you can really tell when something's CGI.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like
Absolutely.
we watched so no spoilers, we just watched X.
Oh right,
I
yeah.
haven't seen it yet.
I haven't seen it yet, but that's okay. Yeah, you could talk about it.
There's just like one scene with an alligator, and you're just like, oh, so that's just incredibly CGI. And it takes you out of the film almost immediately. Same with even like TV shows that do like that new Joe Exotic, Carol Baskin TV show where all of the cats are fake, and you're like, okay, cool. So they're all just acting against green screens, like.
Well, I mean, Joe's doing a good job to do it from prison.
Fucking bitch. Fucking bitch.
That bitch, Carol Baskin.
Carol fucking Baskin. Off with
She's an
your
evil.
fucking head. Yeah.
She was evil, I think. I think she was evil.
I
Well,
think
she
they're
is.
all
She's still alive.
Yeah, you're right. They're all evil,
I
exactly.
don't think you should be allowed to own big cats.
Oh, dude, absolutely. I'm of it. Or if you do, you deserve to be eaten alive. And I've said that now, you know, in public, and I fully stand by it. You know what I mean? It's like you don't go into the Antarctica and investigate a UFO with a crazy dog running around, right?
Yeah.
You know,
It's like,
those-
sense.
just saying. You know, you could have learned a thing or two if you'd have went back and watched some of these 80s movies. Good Lord.
Mhm.
Now, Ali, you obviously a man never ever insinuates or asks any lady her age, so I'm not going to do that. However, what
Well,
you
I'm
did.
32. I don't care if people know.
Oh no!
There you go.
No.
And like
The reason I asked that is because actually, believe it or not, you kind of led us into some of our usual kind of talking points when we start with guests, and you brought up the VHS thing, and because like that is what we're all about, to be honest with you.
Their jam, yeah.
That's where we kind of started. And
That's physical media.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And the funny thing about it is, I've always said, like, don't judge a book by its cover, but definitely judge a horror VHS by its cover, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
You
Definitely
can't
just
judge
a
them all.
VHS by its cover.
You definitely can't judge them all, because there are some that have terrible artwork and are quality movies too.
Or they have like really amazing artwork, and the movie is trash, and
That's,
you're like,
that's most of them.
the trashier the better, though. The more trashy the better. That's the, you know, it'd be kind of why don't you talk about some of the movies that you've actually worked on as well? Because obviously, you know, people that are watching now, they're going to go, okay, where can I watch this lady? Let's, you know, so give them a. You've had a couple of pieces. Greg has obviously passed on a couple of bits and pieces.
I've seen a couple of them, yeah.
Yeah. So why don't you talk about some of your projects that you have and where people can find it? Because I find it intriguing, some of the titles that you've done, and I'm looking forward to watching more.
So I've done a couple films with Full Moon Features where, if you know from the amazing VHS days, like in the heyday, they were doing like Wizard Video. So they were giving us like top-notch shit, and they were giving us Puppet Master and Subspecies. They were the ones who gave, you know, Helen Hunt and Demi Moore their starts. So I was like so excited to be a part of the Full Moon family, and like I'm always repping them. It's one of the best. I have a bunch of sweaters around me right now.
One of the best logos ever, I have to say.
The Full Moon one.
It is, and it's one of those that, you know, when it does transition into the full moon, when it comes onto your screen, you're like, oh, I'm excited. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things.
For something good.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So the biggest project that I did with Full Moon was called Necropolis Legion, and it's honestly by far my favorite thing that I've done to date, because my character Eva is a witch who feeds from her boobies. Nice. And
my favorite kind of witch too.
The only witch.
My kind of witch.
Like my instead of nips, I have mouths, and that's how I feed on like other people. And that was like my all-time favorite thing. It's on Amazon Prime and Tubi, and if you have the Full Moon streaming app, it's on there, of course, obviously.
Cool.
And that one was like, oof, like chef's kiss, so good. And Lynn Lowry from, you know, all the Cronenberg films and some Romero stuff, she's also in it. Like just a beautiful cult classic and a wonderful human.
Oh yeah.
That has one of the funniest opening scenes ever. Where your man's just sitting on the ground, next to you, your man pulls his heart out, and then you get your face coming in with the big white eyes.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Like, whoa!
Every time I had to put the white contacts in, I kept being like, guys, I can't see anything. And they're like, what? Just come on to set. I'm like, someone has to really guide me on set because I am blind. Like,
it was definitely something I wasn't expecting to happen in the opening scene. Your man holding his heart, big hole in his chest.
You know, there's a bunch of guys that are sitting here watching this now, going, I think I've seen that movie, and they've woken, they've definitely woken up to what they thought were nipples and saw mouths. Nipples, and we're like, no, that's the drugs and the drink, brother.
And do the mouths just eat, or do they talk in the film? Or
no, they just eat. And there's like one scene where they, like, I know it's like almond milk, but they squirt like white liquid, and then these two girls drink from them. And like even like watching it and doing the scene, like, I knew it was like an almond milk, like it was a nice thing that was like not gross to drink, but just the visual of it and like
the idea.
Everything behind it, I was like, oh, this is gross. Oh, there was also a scene in the movie where the other lead actress spits this black liquid from her mouth into my mouth, and like I'm fine with that kind of stuff. It's totally cool, except for like, I guess the black blood kind of coagulated and got a little bit chunky. So when it drips into my mouth, I wasn't expecting it to not be smooth, and I was just like,
oh shit.
And like they cut, and I was like, oh my god, did you still have food in your mouth? Like, what is wrong with you? And
half a loaf of bread gone with it.
Full batch loaf gone.
I'm liking the sound of this film every
Oh yeah, I really enjoyed it now.
It's good. It's some Canadian nonsense.
What is it? It's about an hour. About an hour.
They're not long. And it was a part of the Deadly 10 series where Charlie Band wanted to live stream the making of all the films while they were happening, which in itself was a really cool social experiment to be a part of. Yeah. It's just like, you never don't have a camera on you. It was really hard to just like sit down and relax and like go over lines and like script and rehearse and stuff when there's always like a camera just watching you do stuff. And I'm like, well, now I know I can't do reality TV shows.
I mean, that must be the hardest bit to do, though, if you're doing that, where there's a camera just in your face the whole time.
Yeah. And then the other stuff that I've done with Full Moon is I was very lucky enough to be a part of the Blind Dead movies. So we did our own Blind Dead here. It's called Screams of the Blind Dead, and I'm like the full opening sequence. I'm not there for the full movie, but I'm there for like the big opening chunk, and I get murdered in the first bit. And that was huge because like I love the Italian Tombs of the Blind Dead films.
Nice, yeah.
Yeah.
So being a
these
part of,
ones.
like, yeah, so officially being a part of that franchise was like a huge deal to me, and I I kind of like shoehorned my way into that, where I was like, hey, so you're making this movie, and I'm gonna need to be in it.
This isn't a negotiation. This is happening.
I like your negotiation tactics. Yeah.
Yeah. But it was so much fun. And the other full moon film I did was called It Knows You're Alone, which is about like this woman who finds a haunted nautical phone, and basically when she brings it home and starts like making it nice, like refurbishing it, then this woman in black starts coming, and I play both her ex-lover and the woman in black. So I'm in a good chunk of this whole movie just being like creepy. And that was an interesting one to film because it was like during the pandemic, and this was before the vaccinations came, so we had to be like quarantined before we did it, and there was like 3 of us on set like plowing through this in like the shortest amount of time possible, just because COVID really fucked things up for everybody and for filming and
just
stuff.
like Justin Trudeau, right?
Oh, fucking Trudeau. But it was interesting, and sadly it's not there anymore, but we filmed at this like abandoned pirate ship thing that's very popular. It's kind of on the way to Niagara Falls in Ontario, and it's gorgeous, and it's gone now for some reason. I don't know why. Probably because it was grossly polluting the water with all of its rust and disgustingness. And I'm such a keener that like there's a scene where I'm just supposed to be like walking in the water near the boat, and I was like, no, it'll look better if I'm under the water and like come up slowly through. And doing it, I'm like, I am giving myself just so many infections because this water is grossly unclean.
Yeah.
You did it for the shot.
Did it for the art though.
I did it for the art.
Yeah. You there was a nice little segue in there in terms of how you kind of demanded to be in that movie, which I thought was pretty cool. I like that kind of tactics, you know, bully tactics. It's good.
I'm not even bully. It's just like the worst thing. And I like
in your case, you're a female, so you could just blink the eyes a little bit, you know. Yeah, there you go. I can't do it.
The worst thing someone can say to you is no.
Yeah.
So I'm like, as an actor who's like, I constantly audition and get told no all the time, that I'm like used to it. So like, why not just shoot my shot with a director I already know?
Yeah,
exactly.
And if they're like, no, then I'm like, cool, at least I tried.
Well, exactly. What happens? We're not friends anymore.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be like, ooh, you said no to me, so like this is done.
Here's a shoot from the hip question then, just off the back of that. If you had, right, if there was one franchise that you could possibly be a part of. Now this is just purely hypothetical, and possibly it will come true, hopefully. But if there was one franchise in horror that you could be part of, what would it be? Saw.
I know. I like twice a year.
You've lost me now.
I'll just root through that whole franchise. I don't know why I'm so fascinated with it. I love it, and I'm here for even the ones that are bad. I'm still here for, and it's currently broken because I moved and I broke, but I made a replica of the reverse bear trap that Shawnee wears. And I have, at one point, like I think last year, I got to interview Darren Boozman and was like, I love you.
Nice.
And it wasn't even for like Spiral, it was for his other movie Death of Me, but like 3 questions in, I'm like, cool, so Spiral, huh? Can you tell me anything about Chris Rock? Also, Chris Rock.
I was just gonna put perfect timing. What?
That's great timing there. Now, I mean, yeah. What does the 5 fingers say to the face? Slap. You know.
I thought it looked fake, to be honest.
Honestly, it still kind of looks fake.
Yeah. Well, we're from the pro wrestling world, so it kind of generally, you know, you question everything when it comes to it. But I think it was legitimate. Poor guy's face.
It's and they've both kind of issued apologies at this point, so it's like. But like you won an Oscar, and like right before you won an Oscar, you had to hit him.
And then the fake tears in the Oscars as well, the acting through the Oscars as well was great. Yeah, although I heard rumor that Chris's cousin The Rock is pretty unhappy about it, and he wants.
Is he actually his cousin?
And no.
It's just coming out now during the Oscars that The Rock and Chris Rock are somehow related.
I was
Did
just.
you see the picture of The Rock when he done it? He was
I would love to see that same joke made, and it was The Rock making it.
Yeah, that's what Shannon Sharp, who used to play in the NFL, said. If that was The Rock or Jason Momoa that made that joke, he was not getting up and slapping.
Yeah.
Well, especially The Rock, you know what I mean? Because it'd be like, okay, Jada, you go on your own. You know, you choose to sleep with other men. I was like, yeah, you can sleep with other. My wife can sleep with other men. It's no problem. But if you slag her hair, God damn it, I'm gonna slap the shit out of your face.
Well, I mean, me and Carl are on the old hair challenge side. I found it quite offensive.
Yes. I agree with you.
Personally attacked.
Well, I still have a bit of mine under here, so I'm not quite there on the offended level yet. So we'll wait.
Yeah.
We'll give it a few years.
The other one of your movies that I seen was Space Vampire.
Yeah, Space Vampire was.
That was all sorts of crazy.
It was crazy, and also it was filmed in like 2017 as like something to do. Because
It sounds like you're not too proud of that one.
Well, I should preface all of this that my partner is Chris Alexander, the former editor of Fangoria.
Oh,
I end up being in a lot of his films. And
yes,
that
well,
was
I actually have some old school magazines still locked away from. Yeah.
Well, I mean that's turning into a Rob Zombie and
Really cool.
In Sherry Milne kind of thing.
There is no shame in that.
No, none.
It's also a Mike Flanagan and Katie Siegel kind of thing. Like
Could be Debbie and John as well.
That too.
Exactly. You're just keeping everything in the family.
Absolutely.
But we have like a level of comfort with each other where.
Yeehaw.
Yeah, and we had. I think we were like not even a year into dating, but we were like, we should kind of just like make something artsy for fun. And he had this idea, and we kind of rolled with it. And he bought me that like black suit that I wear all the time, especially to conventions, because I have like a Catwoman mask, and I'm like, ooh, I can be Michelle Pfeiffer in this.
If you want. Yeah. That's true.
Real
a multi-purpose latex suit.
Makes sense.
And it was great because it was just me and him going into like weird back alleys and filming stuff, and going to like the random castle that we have in Hamilton, and just filming a ton of random stuff. And we honestly didn't think anything was kind of going to come of it.
Sounds like Pam and Tommy.
Well, Ian's in that mood tonight.
I feel like we would have the worst sex tape.
that is grossly false.
God damn it.
Yeah, the only when it got released onto Blu-ray last year, it was because we had signed a deal to make Girl with a Straight Razor through Darkside, and I had no part of this deal, so I don't know the full logistics, so I could be wrong, but it was like, hey, if you're already making this one film, you could also take this other film that we did and release it.
Yeah.
It was awesome because then people got to see it.
You're reprising that role though, aren't you? Or you have done in another movie? Did I read that right?
Reprising Space Vampire?
Yeah.
I don't.
Did I read that right? No.
Surprise!
Well, you are now. Greg has got the funds for it, and he's basically decided he wants a sequel.
I could have sworn I read that you were coming back. You were reprising that role. Now I might have read it wrong.
Possibly. The role that I want to reprise is I want to do Eva again, but I want to do like a weird prequel that's set in like the 1800s, and like, because her husband is so much older, like what is their relationship with each other? How did she get into this weird role? Like that would be what I would want to explore more. Should Full Moon want to throw some money at it?
How do you feel about the kind of that kind of macabre type old kind of 1800s kind of Victorian stuff, like say like the Hammer horror kind of stuff, or you know the old original Dark Shadows kind of stuff? Would you be a fan of that old kind of stuff, or was it just purely kind of 80s and onwards?
Well, coincidentally, the podcast that I do is the Hammer Pub podcast, where every week we talk about Hammer horror films.
You do realize you got to get me on that show. I'm like the biggest Hammer freak ever.
Ooh.
Legit.
You have to get on soon because we are now into new Hammer. So we just did Let Me In and The Resident, and now we're doing like Wakewood, and I think we still have like Women in Black, and
Wakewood wasn't too bad, to be fair.
it's Timothy Spall. Like, what's not to love? That dude's awesome.
Yeah, it wasn't
like crazy talented actor. But I love Hammer films, and
me too.
I love that whole aesthetic. I also just the whole like imagery and story behind Hammer, and they have that castle, and they somehow made it look different in every movie. Like it was,
and
also they gave us obviously like Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee and like Ralph Bates, who like what else has he done besides Hammer? Like
Anthony Hines, 100%.
So what Hammer films would you really like adore?
Ooh, I just for like no other reason than my partner collects 16mm prints, and he got a print of Dracula Has Risen from the Grave.
Nice.
And like,
I'm so jealous.
Seeing it like projected on this beautiful, crisp 16mm print, like the colors are so good. And for a G-rated film, it is insanely violent.
Yeah.
But I guess bringing in the fact that there's no nudity, but like I adore that film, and truly I adore Veronica Carlson, and I'll watch anything Christopher Lee is in. I mean, that
she was really hot as well, but really like in a good, but a really good actor hot. You know what I mean? She was really good. I'm the same. Christopher Lee, and like he's probably been my like he's close to up there as my number one. I mean, I think he's the best Dracula of all time.
Oh, by far the best Dracula of all time,
without a shadow of a doubt.
Although I will say I'm biased because I'm like Christopher Lee, Leslie Nielsen.
I thought you were going to say Eddie Murphy.
I thought you were going to say Peter Cushing was just underneath.
Brooklyn.
I thought you were going to say Peter Cushing was just underneath there, but
no, I have to give all my shout outs to the good old Canadian boy Leslie Nielsen for doing Dracula Dead and Loving It with Mel Brooks.
That's pretty awesome. That's a pretty awesome.
Vampire films.
That's a pretty awesome. Yeah, I love Leslie Nielsen. Good Lord. Don't call me Shirley.
I'd only said to you, buddy, there that I have Gary Oldman as my best Dracula.
Gary Oldman's so good.
He is phenomenal.
He does though.
It's the closest to the book for sure, but at the
I think he
time,
was the best Dracula. I think Bella had the best movie.
Oh man!
And then Christopher Lee had the best kind of everything else.
Presence. It was like if you had a
he's got the presence of Dracula.
Yeah,
because he's about 15 foot tall.
Yeah, and he could legit fuck you up. You know what I mean? He
was one of those boys.
Not fucking around, that guy.
He was a fighter pilot, for God's sakes. You know what I mean? This guy was
heavy
hitter.
Yeah. No, that's cool. We'll definitely recommend. So, name that podcast for any listeners out there that might be interested.
It is the Hammer Pub Podcast through Scream Addicts or something.
I've listened to it before, and here we are. There you go. It's a small world.
That was another example of me being like, hey, so I know I only guested on an episode, but like, I'm your co-host now.
Brilliant.
That's how I fell
into their podcast, and now I've been there since I guessed.
She's literally going to be on next week on this show now, aren't you?
Yeah, like this is what's going to happen. You're going to have to adhere to my Canadian Eastern Standard Time schedule.
This is about our normal time anyway.
Yeah. We are creatures of the night, so it's apropos basically. So tell us a little bit more about what you've got going on in the coming months as we kind of wrap up here. What have you got? You got any kind of horror cons coming up, or what you got going on? You tell us.
I'm filming a short film at the end of the month that I'm like super excited, but we've been trying to like get this together for like months now, but because of COVID and the fact that I have to go to another province to do it was a whole thing. So I'm so excited that like nothing is stopping us from doing it at this point. I'm in post-production on my first feature film that I wrote, directed, and starred in that I'm very like excited about. I will say I've gone through, like I did post-production on a short film that I wrote and directed, which I'm like so happy about. Doing that feature film is like next level, and I feel like I'm losing my goddamn mind with it. So hopefully that evens itself out. And then I have a couple of short films that I want to direct as well, because I do want to branch out more into directing now that like I've gotten like a taste for it. I want to do like a shit ton more with it, because if you're not creating, then what are you doing?
Exactly.
100%.
Working.
Yes, yeah.
Listen, it's been an absolute pleasure. Any of you guys got anything to say before we kind of wrap up?
Are we done? We've done this for like 10 minutes. Oh, it's been like almost an hour.
I'll tell you what, throw us your top 5 favorite movies. We'll close out with that.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Does like just ever or like of this year? Because this year I have 2.
No,
top
ever.
favorite.
Well, both then.
Yeah, do both. Yeah, exactly.
You're the guest, so.
Okay, so of 2022, number 1 is Fresh.
See, that
I am like, it's so good. It's on like Disney or.
Is that the kid that played Tommy Lee in Pam and Tommy, I believe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
The
a
Winter
good,
Soldier.
He's a good actor.
Yeah.
And as Greg knows, Studio 666. Like,
Absolutely amazing.
so
Haven't
amazing,
seen it yet.
and like R.I.P. to Taylor
Yeah.
Hawkins. Very
100%.
so sad to hear that, especially because like I watched the film and 2 days later that came out and I was like, oh.
I watched it in the next morning. It happened. I was like,
Greg watched
Did it
it. Greg watched it, and literally 10 minutes. I think he texted into the group.
yeah, I texted him at 11 o'clock, and at 12 o'clock then.
Yeah, I was on Twitter, and then I was like, "This is weird." You know what I mean? So yeah, absolutely.
I did it.
Personally responsible?
Yep. It happens from time to time.
It's because he's a redhead, you know.
Don't you start. You don't even know what color hair you.
For the rest of us.
I don't have a soul. I need to take other people's. It's fine.
Exactly.
The ginger, but we can't judge him.
How we stay young and beautiful is by feeding off the souls of others.
It's true.
I mean, it happens.
All right, so my other 5 films, in no particular order, and they're not 100% horror, but like truly of all time practical magic. I love Sisterhood and Witches across the board. Jawbreaker, because who doesn't love a good teen movie where they kidnap their friend as a fun birthday prank and then he dies? Like nothing wrong with that. Elvira, the Mistress of the Dark, her first movie.
First one. Yeah.
The Haunted Hills one I also like, but like not as much.
Not that much.
It's like I like it because it's her, but it's not like in the top. What else? Oh my god, this is so dumb, so please don't judge me. I love the movie Valentine.
Okay.
You know that there's a thing about that over here that it's nearly impossible to get.
Oh, I have it on all physical media. I have it on VHS, on DVD, on Blu-ray. Shout Factory released it on Blu-ray.
Yeah, no, when like DVD shops, when we had like the golden discs and all before they were selling them all new, it was really hard to get.
I can see
It's
that.
the one
I
with
felt like
David Boreanaz.
Yeah, and Denise Richards and all those like little feisty
Good
devils.
old Denise Richards.
Good old Denise Richards.
She loves a bit of Charlie Sheen.
I watch Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I know all her drama.
Is she in that?
I'm Team Charlie.
Ooh, that is not a better team to be.
No, but it's the best of 2 bad
Like
choices.
it's the best out of 2 shitty situations.
Yeah, it's like god damn it, I'm not really putting my money into either one.
The Craft, the original one, not the new one, is definitely like
The original is fantastic.
Truly Ginger Snaps, because I feel like I was like 10 when that movie came out, so I've like grown up with it, and just it kind of had a new meaning every new time I watched it throughout different stages of my life. And I'm like trying to look at my Blu-ray collection because I'm
any love for Heathers? No, anyone ever seen that?
I love Heathers. I think it's a fucking solid movie. I love
Great
a good
movie.
like I love a teen-based horror
Thriller
or
/ horror. Yeah.
Well, most horror films are teen-based anyway, to be fair.
Yeah,
True.
especially in the 80s.
And like I am unabashedly in love with the I Know What You Did Last Summer stuff.
Yeah,
like,
I love the
honestly,
original. Love the original. Yeah.
Yep, I love some Urban Legend. Basically, I like most shit from like the 90s/early 2000s. Like that's really where I found my like world of movies.
You know what's really cool? I don't even think I've told you this, Greg. I may have told you, Carl. It was like, before, like I was just like pre-90s, maybe early 90s.
Yeah.
Then like everything was 80s, 70s, 60s, 50s, 40s, whatever beforehand. And then like the odd naughties one in there. But my better half is actually crazy about all of the, like, you know, the kind of teen movies that came in the 90s. So like Scream, I Know What You Did Last Summer, etc., etc. And we actually went back and we watched them all individually. Like, so we watched Scream all the way through, and then watched I Know What You Did Last Summer. And it was like, when you watch them, the older you get, you're like, God damn it, these are really good movies. And these are vintage now.
Better. Yeah, you understand them better. Some of the jokes that went over your head and whatnot. Like, is it what's your one's name? Jessica Hewitt or something Hewitt, isn't it?
Jennifer Love Hewitt. Don't you ever forget her name on this show ever again. Yeah.
Miss American Sweetheart.
We love her. She's party of 5.
Yeah. Well,
He can't hardly wait. How dare you?
I did. Like she went on. That was a surprising move, bringing her into I Know What You Did Last Summer, because she was American Sweetheart at that time.
And don't forget, you always had Sarah Michelle Gellar making an appearance in some of those movies.
Yeah,
too.
like Buffy and truly everything. Also, like
Freddie Prinze.
Freddie Prinze and her and him being together for so long and just like still being so in love is so cute. They're like serious relationship goals.
They were also Fred and Thing and Scooby Doo, weren't they?
Yeah, they're Fred and Daphne.
Yeah.
Also, I think I was wrong. Jennifer Love Hewitt wasn't in Party of 5, was she?
No, she was in I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yes. Yeah, I know that part.
Yeah, I don't think
I just said Party of 5 to realize I don't think that's right.
I don't know what Party of 5 is, so.
Nope.
It was a show, and I think it had Nev Campbell in it, now that I'm thinking about it hard.
And y'all should fucking know it.
We should all know it and have definitely watched it, but like...
It is what it is.
I
can't hardly wait, because Ethan Embry's also in that. He was my childhood crush.
I take it you're very much along us that we'll watch kind of anything.
Oh, I'll watch anything. I got nothing going on.
Yeah, like my favorite franchise is arguably a B to C rated horror.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, here we go. Wrong turn.
Awesome it is, lads. Awesome.
I'm just glad he didn't bring Nightmare up.
Yeah, well, now we will, thanks.
Do it.
Huh?
She's ready to fucking party. Like, she's like, yeah, do it.
Do it. It's only like 6 o'clock here. I got nothing going on.
Man has to go to work tomorrow.
Yeah.
LOL. No, I don't. I have a meeting tomorrow with a potential acting job, so like send me all the positive vibes.
Yeah. Fingers crossed.
Sure.
Yeah.
We'll light a candle for you.
Just go in and do what you.
This is where I can't be like, all right, you're hiring me.
Well, you can
I
go
don't
in
know
and...
this person.
No, but just say you need me in this movie. And then, do you know what you should really do now? You said that you've got nothing going on. It's 6 o'clock, so literally go and watch Bela Lugosi and just study the eyes.
Study all the eyes.
That's it.
There you go.
White Zombie.
Contacts.
Watch White Zombie.
Oh, so good.
Yeah.
Not that this is a thing where you guys are, but there's this coffee company here that's called Deadly Grounds, and they have all this horror-themed coffee, but they also do like horror-themed hot chocolates, and their white hot chocolate's called White Zombie.
Oh,
and
nice.
it's so good.
Oh,
and
hell
it's
yeah.
caffeinated, which is so good.
Nice.
It's got to be caffeinated.
That's like a random shout out to a company that's definitely not paying me.
Yeah, that's right.
Even free promotion to friends. God damn it.
They're definitely not paying you at all.
Ugh, no. Just like Full Moon's not paying me, and I keep being like, guys, I love Full Moon so much. Oh my god.
Well, listen, I love Full Moon too. I love Full Moon. And speaking of which, there is a full moon out now, so it is about time that we wrap up this show for today, unfortunately. But listen, Ali, it's been a pleasure. We will definitely bring you back on again because...
Thanks for having me. I had so much fun.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
you've got too much energy just for one show, so we definitely will bring you back on.
Again, it's only 6 o'clock here.
So it's the best time to
Give
catch
me
you.
like another hour, and I'll be like super sleepy and ready for bed.
Well, you see, you're at the break in our kayfabe. We have a little word, kayfabe. You know, people watching will probably know what it means, but now you've broken our psyche because this comes out on Friday nights. But unfortunately, it's not really Friday night on this particular occasion as we're recording. If this was Friday night, then we would probably have a 5-hour podcast.
We had to make a special exception.
We did
For the guest of honor.
just to fit in Ali.
What? I'm so honored. I had so much fun. Like,
Yeah,
I'll always come back. Thank you.
we'll definitely get you back on. Absolutely.
And I'm definitely going to use that Fright Rags discount.
You should.
Hell yeah. And you know what? Brilliant. I'm so happy that you said that because Ali is 100% correct. Don't forget, if you want to have some of the cool merch and shirts that we're wearing or anything that tickles your fancy, do head over to frightrags.com. So it's fright-rags.com, or if you're one of the cool kids that knows how to navigate Instagram these days, just go and check out their shop on there and use the promo code OTS Horror 10 and you're going to get 10% off all of your horror merch. So make sure you do that. Listen, it's been a pleasure, Ali. For me and the boys, thank you so much for taking your time out and coming on the show.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure. And we'll make sure that we put some of your links and all in the bio. Carl's our guy there, so we'll make sure that we have all that there, and we'll link people to your stuff on your Instagram. So
Yeah, please do.
until next week, for me and the boys and Ali. Until next week.
'Cause I'm now a co-host.
Yeah.
She's scared. She is.
Hired.